We've been working since Wednesday, really. Friday, Thursday, the teams visited some of the sites. On Friday, we did our a market presentation where the teams were gathered around their work, and visitors came, people from the county, people that are in the task force with the mayor for the Housing for All task force were here, and they were able to absorb some of the initial ideas that the teams had. And the goal of today is for you guys to look at the final presentation. Now, we call it final in terms of the charrette, okay? It's final in terms of it's the end of the charrette, but it's not final on topics, okay? The topics will continue, and the topics are good for the task force, for some of us that are in that, with the mayor, for us to consider some of these ideas, whether it's pro forma, whether it's architectural design, zoning, transects, all included. So what's going to happen tonight, we're going to split.
But that sidewalk's a joke.
It's a
So,
joke.
like, if you build the second floor.
In those extensions, it really kind of provides a lot of and so I think what you're saying is exactly right. Or it's actually is the opposite way. Is our coffee.
So there's actually classes at
Took one.
First of all, I want to say thank you to all the teams. We can give them a round of applause. So I know a lot of you, when you heard the word Charrette, you probably didn't know what it meant. Well, now you know. Okay, it was a sprint to the end, and it was started on last Wednesday, and it ended today. And the teams have been hard at work, and this has been a great accomplishment from architects, students, to be able to engage with all of you, with the county, with developers, with all you people here in the room that are here as reviewers. So really quickly, what we want to do is we just want to hear some general comments for all the teams. Maybe some things you may want to share that you'd like the rest of the people here to know, reviewers mostly, and I'll pass around the microphone as quick as I can. Just quick remarks.
The group I just sat through, they did have stormwater ponds, which was good, and I kind of complimented them on it. But the key point was, just like concrete, when you put scores and joints in it, it's going to crack where it wants to. If you put stormwater ponds in it, then you control where the water's going. But if you don't do anything, it's going to go where it wants to go.
Was, if barely touched on or not at all, was public engagement, is going into the community, whether that be a community meeting or a survey or some kind of a forum, to see what the residents want in their community. As we are going in to help, we are going to go home, whereas the people who are there are going to live with it. So it's going to be doing something with them and not to them.
This has been a great product, a lot to digest today, and I think a lot to take away for our benefit of the Housing for All initiative that the academics has initiated here. A couple of things. One of the largest challenges that we have as a local government, Orange County, whenever we talk about policies in the comprehensive plan as well as code, are two components. One is compatibility, and the second one is consistency. There is a third element that we heard about today in a lot of different products here, which is what makes it happen, the financial analysis and the financial cost. And to hear that consistently in every one of these presentations, those three elements were addressed one way or the other is extremely rewarding. Consistency with a code, a new code that is in the making right now is critical to make this happen. Compatibility not only with the existing communities that you were challenged to deal with, Holden Heights and Pine Castle, that's extremely important. What's rewarding from us is that all of those specific solutions are transferable to other communities within Orange County, and that's the idea here, to be very specific, zoom in, analyze, come up with specific deliverables, and for those to be packaged and transferred to other areas is extremely important. And then the financial analysis, we had very large developers in the room that were commenting, and Rob, thank you for all your comments here, about the possibility to make this a very real transferable solution. And that's our challenge here. We're not just dreaming or thinking academia, we're taking it to the built environment. So thank you for all of that.
The chair of the subcommittee for design infrastructure for the Housing for All Task Force. And first of all, I wanted to acknowledge again Mayor Demings for having the foresight to have asked the YF and CityLab and architects to be involved in actually creating policy and then using creative skills to actually stress test and create some models for what could be done and what actually could be built. So CityLab for making this space available. Hernan has been leading the charge on this. And I just think that, all of them deserve thanks. And then all of you that are giving your time to be part of this charrette. Again, raise your hand if you were on a charrette team and you worked as many days. I want to just acknowledge you once again. What we saw in terms of work today was so creative. So I can tell you with certainty there were some great takeaways from what was produced, and a few of them in terms of the geometries of what could be developed. There was some real creativity there in terms of the things like the developer cut sheets, in terms of how we look at blocks and density, and that you were all so much engaged in terms of doing something real and that could be feasible and built, and you were engaged with code. And I'll tell you, that is a particularly great improvement for me to see now as a many decades in professional versus when I remember, you know, going to school and the kind of stuff that we covered. So the insight that you brought to that definitely should be applauded. Okay, the number one test is, would you live there? Would you want somebody to live there? So when you engage with these communities and when you put something on paper, we have to think about that. Is this something that I want somebody I love to live in? Is this how I want them to, this is what I want them to go home to every day? That decency, that dignity is what we have to be all about. So I know that some of this stuff is going to end up in that final report. You're making policy and you can take credit for that at some point in your career, that you've engaged to help us make good policy for your fellow citizens. So again, thank you very much.
We've all been working the last 6 months to put this together. So with that, I want to say thank you to everyone and have a great night. This doesn't end, this will continue, whether it's with the task force or whether it's as exercises with our architecture. It will go on. So thank you all.